Kaiju, turtles, Dragon Ball, and more. It's Steven's Toy Reviews. Hey, hello there collectors, it is Steven here, and we are going to take a trip to 1968 with the Y-MSF Manda today. I'm just going to go ahead and call him Manda because M-A-N-D-A sounds better. Manda, Mandarake, Manda. Okay, we know who he is. It's going to be the eel snake-like kaiju who is not going to be with the Atragon, but is going to assist Godzilla from Destroy All Monsters. So this is going to be a Y-MSF release, and if you are looking to pick one of these up, oh boy, you're in trouble. Yeah, so normally you're going to go ahead and contact Y-MSF directly through Instagram or Twitter. However, due to the difficulty of making this figure, which has been boasted as having the world's smallest soft vinyl joints, along with the complicated pose, this isn't being made anymore. No, he went back to the drawing board and he's making one in a different pose, more so straight. So this is effectively Manda A. Oh boy, aftermarket. What are you thinking about? Picking this up or maybe waiting? That's what I'm here for. Let's take a look to see whether or not you should get this and add it into your collection. It's a little spin on the outro to the intro there, isn't it? Yeah, I do that every once in a while. This is going to be a very much so improved version to the original Manda that Y-MSF released so many years ago. And I'd say that because the original one I found to be a little bit clunky and not quite as accurate as this one. This one, the 1968 Manda design, I think had a rather goofy face, and that's not to say that it was bad. I just thought it looked kind of goofy, and this captures it rather well. The paint application for the eyes is fantastic, and as of note, not only is this boasting what is apparently going to be the world's smallest soft vinyl joint, but also we do have a separate attachment part for the mouth, which is fantastic, and we do have those very thin, small teeth, which made the production process difficult as well. Overall, the craftsmanship that has been put into one of these pieces is very impressive, and I can totally understand why that this may not be produced again in the future. Of course, like I said, there's going to be a B version, which is more so straight, similar to a snake, to an eel. But that said, this one is very good. Now, you're going to notice that Manda here does look rather wet, kind of slimy, if you will. Now, some may say that that's just going to be in the paint, and you may say, okay, glossy paint. Good idea. However, with super duper macro photography here, with a nice lens extender at, what is that going to be? 36 millimeters on top of what I already use, we are going to be able to see that there is glitter in the vinyl. Very impressive. So it's very neat to see those little tricks of the trade that some of these, I guess you might say, independent makers, because not quite on the same level as Bandai here, but what they're able to do to really get those neat effects. Overall, I do think Bandai looks pretty good. There are a couple of spots, though, I don't know if that's intended for the sculpt or if that's just a part of the production process where he does look a little bloated. But otherwise, I do think the figure is rather good. Now, moving on to articulation, we do get a little bit of a swivel at the jaw, but it doesn't really want to move. I have a feeling that this is not intended. I think this is supposed to be glued in place, so I wouldn't try moving that. The head does swivel, pretty straightforward. It spins around. And then we do have 1, 2, 3 points of swivel for the main body. Now, if you do swivel this around, then it kind of breaks up the sculpt, and Manda is not really going to be quote unquote standing in the neutral position, and it kind of looks a little bit awkward. For the arms and legs, we do get swivels as well, but likewise, it's basically just going to be so this way Manda can raise and lower them and change up the position a little bit. It's not intended to have articulation as like an action figure, it's just intended to have that as a byproduct of the assembly process. So let's go ahead and move on over to a size comparison where you can see Manda alongside some other kaiju you might have, including maybe some other Showa era or Destroy All Monsters figures. Something that somebody pointed out to me in my Discord, I do have one of those, is that this may actually go in rather well with the Mezco Destroy All Monster set coming out later this year and or early next. You know how delays could possibly be. So if you're maybe thinking about that, hey, this may be good to pick up, but you know that I'll give you a comparison when that releases. So buy now, skip, or wait for a deal. Considering you're not going to be able to get this anymore directly through Y-MSF, check the aftermarket, see what it is. For the original price, I think that was about 6,000 yen, and then you're going to have to pay for shipping. Yeah, I'd have to say it is pretty good. Compared to the original release, which is going to go for about the same price, I think this is a much better buy. Now, if you do like that original release, hey, that's totally back to you. If you like it, more power to you, just not a personal favorite for me. This one I think is much more accurate. The paint scheme is fantastic. A lot of craftsmanship went into this. Honestly, if there's a Monster Arts, it's going to be very difficult to get this one out of my hands and put that one in my hands instead, because this just looks that good. And that one, we'll see the quality of the ball joints. But for what this is, I really like it, and you like it too. Especially when the only other Manda we have at this scale is going to be either the original Y-MSF or the Singular Point 1, and that's back to you. Well, collectors, that brings us to the end of the video today, and I just wanted to take a second to thank you so much for watching. Now you've heard a lot from me, I'd like to hear a little bit from you. Drop in the comments down below whether or not you liked it, you hated it, or maybe you were somewhere in between. I also want to take an extra second here for a nice, humongous thank you to all the patrons for SDR over the last month who have really helped the channel grow into what it can be today. So to all of you, 2 big thumbs up. Thank you very much. And now the end card should be popping up, which will give you a few clickable links, like maybe to subscribe or head on over to my Patreon, or some short URLs like to my social media or to my Teespring store. There's also a video I hand selected for you, so if you want to watch another STR video, I hand selected some good content for you to watch, so definitely check out that video. Thank you again so much for watching, and I'll catch ya in the next video.